A man was spending the night alone in his camper, deep in the woods, when something truly disturbing happened. It got so bad that he had to call 911. His name is Larry, and he runs an active YouTube channel where he documents his truck camping adventures and off-grid lifestyle in the American Southwest. The video is titled, "He Broke Into My Camper While I Was Inside." In the middle of the forest, about 12 miles south of Williams, Arizona, this lone camper suddenly heard a woman screaming for help late at night just outside his RV. Grabbing his camera, he began recording everything.
Hello? Do you need help?
While searching for the source of the screams, he noticed a man hiding behind the trees watching him. Moments later, gunshots rang out in the distance. Terrified, Larry sprinted back to his truck, slammed the door shut, and dropped to the floor to stay out of sight from the windows. The sounds of footsteps could clearly be heard circling the campsite. Larry quickly dialed 911 to report what was happening.
911, what's your emergency?
Yes, please. Hey.
Later, after confirming the call had gone through, he armed himself with his non-lethal weapon and cautiously stepped outside to check the area. But by then, no one was there. The screams had stopped. To this day, it remains a mystery who was calling for help and who was lurking outside Larry's camper that night. This man runs the YouTube channel Wild Happiness, where he shows how to survive in some of the harshest conditions of the wilderness. Most of his videos focus on fishing, hunting, and living deep in the wild. In this particular video, filmed at the end of winter, he rode his snowmobile far into the taiga. After traveling dozens of miles, he found a spot to set up a temporary camp. Step by step, he documented the process, clearing the ground, pitching his tent, stacking firewood, and preparing to spend the night completely cut off from civilization. Just as he was getting ready to sleep and turned off his camera, the man suddenly heard footsteps crunching in the snow outside his tent. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. He stepped out to see who, or what, was circling nearby.
Пока, друзья. Спокойной ночи. Короче, друзья. Блин, я же слышал. Капец, реально волки, друзья. Во-во-во, прям вообще хорошо слышно. Да ну нафиг, я, короче, домой. Пизду.
That's when the howls and growls of a wolf pack began echoing through the darkness. The terrifying atmosphere of the night forest was overwhelming. After muttering a few choice words into the camera, he decided the safest option was to stay hidden in his shelter until morning. The wolves had clearly picked up his scent, and there was a real chance they could attack. Brendan, the face behind the popular YouTube channel Brendan Explores, is known for his solo camping adventures around the UK, where he delves into less traveled paths using his converted van for stealth camping. His videos typically showcase serene landscapes and the peaceful solitude of van life. Jaywick, a seaside village near Clacton-on-Sea, has been frequently spotlighted in government reports as one of England's most deprived neighbourhoods.
Well, it's safe to say that what you're about to watch is probably the hardest and not very nicest video I've ever had to edit.
Despite its picturesque location, the area has struggled with socio-economic challenges, leading to a reputation for being rough around the edges. In an episode that starts like any other, Brendan ventures into Jaywick to find a quiet spot for the night, settling on a small car park, which initially seems perfect for a peaceful evening.
£6 for a night in Jaywick, to hopefully have a van that's still intact in the morning, as opposed to staying at the other place. Okay, let's do it. All right.
The tranquility is short-lived, however, as loud music from nearby flats soon fills the air. More and more, Brendan starts getting a bad feeling about the area.
Whenever you see someone walking down the road with a Halford Special going past as well, playing music out of a portable speaker alone, that's a big red flag.
He eventually decides to relocate.
I don't know if I feel this car park or not. I'm going to follow my gut instinct. I'm not parking here tonight. Just got a funny feeling about it.
After a bit of searching, he finds a secluded spot on the edge of farmland, far removed from any streetlights or the hustle and bustle of residential areas.
This'll do me. I'm alone, but I mean, there's no other houses around me.
At around 2:30 a.m., something truly unnerving happens.
Alrighty. Oh, nice and quiet here. Not even a sound of a distant car. I think someone's outside the back. Someone just tried the door. Hey!
Reacting swiftly, Brendan manages to yell and scare off the would-be thief, who disappears into the night as quickly as they had appeared.
Right, whoever the that was has now gone.
Shaken by the ordeal and faced with a broken window in the dead of night, Brendan makes the decision to abandon his camping spot. The event has taken a significant toll, prompting him to drive 3.5 hours back to his home, braving the freezing cold through the damaged window.
After cleaning a little bit of broken glass from my driver's seat and the dashboard, you'd be surprised how far glass goes. I made the long journey back home. I think it was a good 3.5 hour drive back to my house in Shrewsbury. Got there just before sunrise. Not a pleasant drive, to say the least.
Brendan's encounter in Jaywick has sparked conversations among his followers about the safety challenges of solo travel and stealth camping. While his journey often celebrates the beauty and solitude of exploring the secluded corners of the UK, this episode has undoubtedly added a cautionary tale to his collection of adventures, emphasizing the need for vigilance and safety, even in the most scenic locales.
Someone just tried the door. Hey!
When popular YouTuber CJ Faison decided to camp alone in a notoriously haunted forest, he couldn't have known just how freaky the night would get. Pocomoke Forest is a vast, densely wooded stretch of land in Maryland, USA. It spans over 18,000 acres and is the setting for a collection of gruesome urban legends. There's tales of decapitation, wandering spirits, unhinged psychiatric patients with hooks for hands, and mysterious balls of fire that hover in the woods, then vanish without a trace. The vlog starts with an exploration of an old cemetery on the fringe of the forest.
If you all saw a previous video of mine, this area behind me looks really familiar. This is actually the side of the Pocomoke Forest.
Suddenly, what sounds like gunshots ring out.
This cemetery right here was one that myself,
This is a stark reminder that often reality is much scarier than any urban legend.
Sonny is out of town for a few days, and what that means is I gotta go and I gotta keep on making and creating. This is gonna be a long night.
The uploader begins by setting up camp and exploring the darkened forest.
Again, I wanted to go to somewhere like super remote, so as you can see, there's a nice little area around me. I walked for probably about 40 minutes or so, and I'm going to show you kind of the way I came.
While out exploring, he spots a light in the distance. He turns off his torch immediately so as not to give away his position.
This is kind of weird. It's kind of been a standoff. I've had my lights off ever since I first saw a flash towards my way. Oh fuck.
At first, it's reminiscent of the balls of flame that are rumored to float through the forest at nighttime, but it soon becomes apparent that it's another person walking through the woods. Not knowing if they're friendly or not, and having heard gunshots already, the OP decides to hide in the dark and wait. The uploader isn't sure if it's a hunter or not, but they say the person is strangely tall and skinny. Later, the author says he can still hear strange noises in the distance, when suddenly, this happens. Some kind of loud snapping sound can be heard, and the camera holder runs from the scene in a panic. Freaked out by the encounter, CJ seeks shelter in his tent. He eventually decides to use a spirit box to see if any spirits might be present. Something appears to smash the side of the tent. Somehow, CJ musters the courage to spend the rest of the night in the forest.
I don't even know if there's anything on the footage, but I heard something just a little earlier, and it almost sounded like I don't know how, like, you know, like antlers like clang together. It almost sound like two deer like fighting with each other.
He films a few more updates, then after getting some sleep, this happens. Someone is lurking just outside of the tent. The next morning, CJ hikes out of the woods, happy that the long night is finally over.
I thought I'd never get out of this freaking place. Hopefully nobody's messing with my truck.
Camper Vibe, a popular YouTube channel with over 110,000 subscribers, is best known for its engaging content about camping and renovations. But one particular episode stands apart from the rest. A solo camping trip into one of the UK's most infamous locations, the Screaming Woods of Daring, near Pluckley, in Kent. Often described as the most haunted forest in Britain, these woods carry a reputation so chilling it would test even the bravest adventurer. The creator of Camper Vibe decided to spend 48 hours there, completely alone. As an experienced solo female camper used to wild, isolated trips, she rarely gets spooked. This time, however, the heavy atmosphere of Daring Woods, combined with their sinister history, proved to be a different kind of challenge. The woods earned the name Screaming Woods because of the disturbing sounds often reported at night, piercing screams and phantom footsteps echoing through the fog. Local folklore is full of ghost stories. The spirit of an 18th century army colonel who took his own life, a highwayman gruesomely murdered in the forest, and shadowy figures said to follow travelers between the trees. At first, everything seemed normal. She pitched her tent deep in the woods and cooked steak and chips over the fire. But as night fell, the calm was shattered by strange, unsettling noises. The camera picked up unusual sounds while she sat near the flames.
If you can see, a Cadbury's Pot of Joy. Yogurt, basically, chocolate yogurt. There is a lot of noises in these woods. Where's my spoon? Sounds like kids screaming. That's just a train. Is it a bird or is it kids screaming? That's a bird. That's a gunshot. The hammock's really comfy, thank God, so I should sleep well, I would think. Where's my big bean? What was that noise? This is definitely odd.
By around 2 a.m., things became truly unnerving. At 3:50 a.m., a sudden disturbance sent the crows into a frenzy, their loud cawing echoing through the forest as if warning of an unseen presence.
What the fuck is going on?
So, could the legends about the Screaming Woods be true? This episode of Camper Vibe leaves the mystery wide open, inviting viewers to step into one of Britain's eeriest locations, where centuries of history and haunting folklore intertwine beneath the ancient canopy. Novice Wild Camper, a rising YouTube channel focused on wilderness camping in the UK, has uploaded a series of videos that have left viewers deeply unsettled. In the first installment, The camper sets up a hammock in the heart of a quiet, isolated forest. As darkness falls, the calm atmosphere quickly shifts into something more disturbing. The stillness of the woods is broken by strange, unexplained sounds echoing all around.
I don't like it here.
Visibly on edge, the camper tries to track down the source of the noises, but comes up empty-handed.
It's full of creatures and animals running around, and twigs on the floor, so you hear everything snapping and cracking and breaking. There's a huge amount of noises around here. I've picked a chestnut tree wood, so there are chestnuts crashing around constantly. Sounds like Bigfoot's throwing rocks at the hammock.
As the night drags on, things only get more alarming. Out of nowhere, a rock lands near the hammock.
Suddenly by my hammock, a massive, massive thud hits the ground and bounces. And I jumped up, unzipped it, put my torch on, and there's a rock on the floor that wasn't there when I went to bed.
Not long after, a large branch comes crashing to the ground close by.
This doesn't land coming down, it bounces towards me. It hit the floor and was still rolling towards me. This place is freaked out.
Shaken and unnerved, the camper quickly packs up his gear and leaves, swearing never to return. After spending the rest of the night in his car, he recalls an eerie encounter with a man he spotted on the roadside, sharing the unsettling conversation they had. But despite his vow to stay away from the forest, the story didn't end there.
And there's a man just walking down the road by me, and he saw me and he went, "All right." And I was like, "All right." And he went, "You been camping in the woods?" I said, "Yeah, just a little hammock camp." And he says, "You went, you're brave." I said, "Why is that?" And he went, "People have done it before, no one's lasted." I said, "What do you mean?" And he just laughed and he went, "You know what I mean." I walked off.
Months later, after repeated requests from his viewers, the YouTuber reluctantly returned to the same spot, this time with better gear, including infrared cameras and motion detectors. In the long-awaited Part 2, he once again braved a night in those woods. As the evening settled in, the all-too-familiar strange noises began to creep back. Determined to uncover the truth, he set up his new infrared equipment. What he captured was nothing short of terrifying.
I might switch off for a second. It could just be someone walking a dog or something down the main track. That was close.
The discovery left both the camper and his audience questioning what exactly was happening in those woods. Was it the work of a prankster, an unknown animal, or something far darker?
Nothing around there. Is that? There's two handprints. I swear that wasn't there. There's two.
The mystery remains unsolved, but one thing is certain. These woods are anything but ordinary.